Hello everyone, I am so excited to go over the respiratory system with you today. Hold your breath, really hold your breath. See how long you can hold your breath as you continue reading. How long can you do it? Chances are you are feeling uncomfortable already. A typical human cannot survive without breathing more than 3 minutes. And even if you wanted to hold your breath longer, your autonomic nervous system would take control. This is because every cell in the body needs to run the oxidative stages of cellular respiration, which oxygen is needed and carbon dioxide is released as a waste product. Now that you've been able to watch the video of the structure and function of the respiratory system, let's go through one of the first structures we encounter, which is the conducting zone. The major functions of the conducting zone are to provide a route for incoming and outgoing air, remove debris and pathogens from the incoming air, and also warm and humidify the air. For example, the epithelium of the nasal passages is essential for sensing odors, and the bronchial epithelium that lines the lungs can metabolize some airborne carcinogens. The pharynx is a tube formed of skeletal muscle and lined by mucous membranes that is continuous with that of the nasal cavities. The larynx is a structure formed of cartilage that connects the pharynx to the trachea and helps regulate the volume of air that enters and leaves the lungs. The trachea, also known as the windpipe, extends from the larynx towards the lungs. The trachea stretches and expands just slightly during inhalation and exhalation, whereas the rings of cartilage provide the structural support and prevent the trachea from collapsing. A bronchial tree or respiratory tree is the collective term used for the multiple branch bronchi. The primary function of the bronchi is to provide a passageway for air to move into and out of each lung and travel. The next section that comes into your respiratory system is going to be your respiratory zone. And contrasting to the conducting zone, the respiratory zone includes structures directly involved with gas exchange. The respiratory zone begins in the minor type of bronchiole, which then leads to an alveolar duct opening to a cluster of alveoli. An alveolus is one of the many small grape-like sacs that are attached to the alveolar ducts where gas exchange occurs. And you can see in this picture the difference between all of these terms. This is where oxygen and carbon dioxide will be exchanged. Now we can discuss gas exchange and gas transport more specifically. Gas moves from a region of a high pressure to a low pressure region, and it also diffuses across the respiratory membranes. Oxygen diffuses from the alveoli into the blood, and the carbon dioxide diffuses from the blood into the alveoli to be released from the respiratory system. The gas transport, we have two different types. We have external respiration, and that refers to gas exchange that occurs in the alveoli, such as with the carbon dioxide, and the internal respiration refers to gas exchange that occurs in the tissues, such as when the oxygen is transported. The oxygen is transported through the blood by erythrocytes on the red blood cells hemoglobin. Here we can visibly see how this oxygen and carbon dioxide can diffuse across the respiratory membrane. The amount of each is very similar that's transported across the membrane.